Swadika and welcome to Thai PBS World. We begin tonight with the latest developments in the tech industry as many international newsrooms begin to incorporate artificial intelligence. AI seems to be everywhere, and we all have to embrace it, posing challenges and threats for journalists. Even AI poses challenges. There are still some benefits, from generating information, statistics, fact-checking, and translations to illustrations like these, making it much faster and easier to create content. The convergence of AI technology and journalism is reshaping the future of newsrooms. Does it mean real journalists will all be replaced by AI? Will the sense of engagement and interaction remain the same? How can we be sure that the news articles that we see really come from journalistic knowledge and experience, not automatically generated by ChatGPT? And how can you be sure that the person you're seeing right now is the real me, not someone impersonating me using deepfake? It's time to find out. Welcome to Thai PBS World Public Forum, AI and the Future of Newsrooms.
Good afternoon, ladies. Now, welcome back to Thai PBS World Forum in the afternoon session on the topic of AI and the future of newsroom. I am Kitima from Thai PBS World, will be the MC on the stage today. After a delicious lunch for this session, we are prepared to learn and enjoy the discussion panel. This afternoon there will be two panel discussions, and และเราก็จะมีล่ามแปลภาษาไม่ว่าจะดำเนินการเป็นภาษาไทยนะคะ This morning we have a discussion on two topics about AI in other countries and also in Thailand, like PBS, how far we have progress in our development. And we have discussed on a topic that's very interesting because AI has developed or progressed very fast. So we have to accommodate with such fast development. For this afternoon session, it would be under the topic of foreseeing newsroom in the future. So I would like to invite the panelists on stage. The first panelist, Dr. Prachaya Bunkwan from NECTEC. Would you please come on stage? Next, Kun Alanut Lerth Suwarnakit, co-founder and CEO of Texas Company Limited. And the next one, คุณสิริพงศ์กิติถาวรกุล Managing Director and for Marketing from Promise, and the moderator would be Dr. Natha Kaumanwatin. The floor is yours. So I would like to pass on the floor to Dr. Natha. Now let's meet in the afternoon after delicious lunch. So please don't doze off, because in 50 minutes there will be exciting matters to discuss. We have been a little bit late. During the morning session, we have seen the direction which are opportunities and also a warning for Newsroom that we are about to use AI that can lead to difficulties in checking news. So this afternoon we'll talk about practice how to use AI in Newsroom, how we can apply. First, let's listen to Dr. Pradya about guidelines and work with AI in the Newsroom, which have already happened, some already. I would like to present the slides on the screen. Good afternoon, all participants. I would like to introduce ChatGPT and generative AI. First, actually, the word generative AI, it is AI that can create new content, and that might not have been in the world before. What we use is ChatGPT. If you have never fight with ChatGPT, are there any? Some of you might have worked on ChatGPT and you might have fight with it, and that's we call generative AI. We also the program that can generate images. That is, it can create images. We also have Wall-E, which is Microsoft's product, which can help synchronize. We can read the script for 2 minutes, then the system would create the voice and read the text that we haven't known before. So ChatGPT can do many things. It can ask about medical questions. It can give answer. If we talk about hair fall, how can we solve the problem? It can give answer. Or in case of a model in creating images according to the command, we just tell it to draw angel in the heaven to play music. This is the ChatGPT. There is also other product like Google Bard. It's another version of ChatGPT that can connect with like Google. When they want to give answer, they would review the question and then find answer for us, and then we can get also ChatGPT and also Google Bard. I have the example. If we are a journalist or editor, we can use ChatGPT and Google Bard to do some kind of work. We can ask question like please explain about this matter, but please explain in the language of fourth grade language. Then it can explain in fourth grade language, or ask it to summarize news and put in the news. It can summarize for us. Or if we want it to write articles or letter, it can also help us with that. If we want to ask it to adjust, that is rephrasing, to adjust the wordings, it would help us rephrasing, put in the content, and it adjusts our text. Like if we want it to elaborate or expand on the content, and when we can also revise again. If we write article and we cannot go on further, we can ask it like The title of this article should be like what to be catchy. It can give answer, so ChatGPT can create the topic like composing poem. And it might not be able to do in Thai, but it can write a poem in English now, or even drawing pictures. ChatGPT on your cell phone can draw a picture already, like this one. This is a picture of banana. It's a sweet banana. This is an easy example in the newsroom of AI, but AI can also use to like write automatic news, or can be database for us to check the answer. If like for news agency want engagement from a lot of readers, please try to set the quiz for reward at the end of the news. The ChatGPT can create such quiz for you, or create images, or do other things. So we can see personalized news, so we can use ChatGPT to select the news according to our need, and also ask it to summarize the news or to check the fact, or
นะครับเราใช้
more than that, we can use it to detect the opinion of the people who comment, and also we can set the chat board, so our MC would tell us whether it is the opportunity or obstacle or whatever. Thank you, Dr. Pradya. It seems like I have AI to check my brain. We see a lot of opportunity, but do you see any risk? Actually, I think AI is like double-edged sword. First, it can be the tool we can use as a tool. It means we can work more while spending less time, but at the same time to work more with less time. But do we need less or fewer people or not? Do we have the chance to be out of work or not? Or so this is what the newsroom all over the world is asking. Another thing is about the question, how can we adjust or adapt the people to work better with AI? Kun Oranut is the co-founder and also CEO of Texas company. Besides having big project, they also create technology content by using AI. How you use AI in your work? We are not news agency. Mostly we are developer of data. We have another one business unit to provide knowledge on technology. As for AI,
แต่ว่ามันเข้ามาใกล้ตัวเราจริงๆเนี่ยมาช่วงประมาณต้นปีนี้นะคะที่เราเห็นรู้สึกว่ามันใกล้ตัวแล้วทุกคนต้องเรียกว่ามีสติและตื่นรู้กับมันนะคะจริงๆตัวมี่เองเนี่ยก็มีโอกาสได้เล่นแต่ว่าถ้าถามว่าน้องๆในออฟฟิศที่เป็นกลุ่มน้องๆเจนซีเนี่ยเขาก็จะ very active มากๆนะคะเขาใช้ได้อะไรบ้างนะคะ3อันหลักๆจริงๆก่อนไหมนี่ทำเซอร์เวย์ก่อนนะคะอันแรกมันจะมีมิติคอนเทนต์3ประเภทนะคะก็คือวิดีโอรูปนะคะแล้วก็ตัว article ตัวเนื้อหาก่อนคือถ้า text เนี่ยไม่ว่า in general โดยทั่วไปเนาะคนส่วนใหญ่ก็คิดว่าอุ๊ยเราจะเอาไปให้มันช่วยเขียนเลยแต่ไม่ว่ามันก็มันไม่ค่อยดีเนาะ อย่างนี้ใช่ไหมคะคือมันก็เพราะว่าการที่แบบอยู่ดีไปโยนโจทย์แล้วก็ให้ AI เข้ามาเขียนแทนเราเนี่ยแน่นอนมันจะมีโมเมนต์ที่เขาว่า AI เขาเรียกว่าตัว AI หลอนนะคะคือก็เพ้ออะไรออกมาก็ไม่รู้ถูกผิดอะไรต่างๆใช่ไหมคะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยพยายามที่จะสื่อสารให้กับคนในออฟฟิศตลอดว่าอย่าใช้ในการทำงานทั้งหมดแต่ว่า เอาเป็นเพื่อนคู่คิดดีกว่าอย่างเช่นยกตัวอย่างว่าถ้าเราอยากจะตั้งคำท็อปิกที่มันน่าดึงดูดมากขึ้นลองใส่ลองเสนอช้อยส์มาให้หน่อยได้ไหมเป็นทางเลือกหรือว่าถ้าจะเรียงลำดับคอนเทนต์ถ้าเกิดเป็นเรื่องนี้จะทำให้น่าดึงดูดได้อย่างไรเหมือนมีเพื่อนคนหนึ่งมาช่วยเป็นอีดิเตอร์คนหนึ่งที่เข้ามาช่วยให้คำแนะนำก็ถ้าเป็นอาร์ติเคิลเราก็จะใช้ในรูปแบบนี้นะคะถ้าเป็นรูปเนี่ยส่วนใหญ่ก็จริงๆก็จะเห็นกันค่อนข้างเยอะนะแต่ว่ามันก็จะมีประเด็นกับเรื่องของพวกลิขสิทธิ์นะคะอันนี้ก็พยายามจะเน้นย้ำในทีมตลอดว่าอย่าไปเอารูปจากที่อื่นมาแล้วก็ให้มันไปหรือเราไปใส่พร้อมอย่างเดียวแล้วให้มันเจเนเรตขึ้นมาเพราะเราก็ไม่รู้หรอกว่ามันไปเอา Data จากที่ไหนมาใช่ไหมเราก็พยายามที่จะเอารูปของพวกเราเองเนี่ยนะคะที่เราไปถ่ายหรือว่าเก็บเอาไว้อยู่ในคลังของเราเป็นสต็อกของเราอยู่แล้วเนี่ยอัปโหลดเราก็ให้มันอาจจะมีการดัดแปลงจากเบสออนจากของเราอีกทีหนึ่งนะคะแต่ว่าแน่นอนมันก็ยังค่อนข้างสุ่มเสี่ยงเพราะว่าเราก็ไม่รู้ว่าการที่มันมา modify อีกทีหนึ่งในตัวภาพของเราอีกทีหนึ่งเนี่ยมันไปเอา Data เซตไหนมาอีกใช่ไหมเพราะฉะนั้นมิว่าเรื่องนี้มันก็เป็นอะไรที่ค่อนข้างจะ sensitive เหมือนกันเพราะฉะนั้นพยายามจะบอกน้องว่าเฮ้ยถ้าเป็นบทความที่มันเป็นพวกอะไร sensitive อย่างเช่น advertorial สมมติเป็นต้นเนี้ยเฮ้ยไม่ได้เลยนะอันนี้ต้องมิว่าคีย์สำคัญคือเราต้องมีกรอบนะแนวทางให้กับทีมงานของเราส่วนอันสุดท้ายคือวิดีโออันนี้เริ่มมีใช้เยอะขึ้นนะคะคือจริงๆเพิ่งมารู้ตัวว่าทีมใช้อันนี้เยอะนะไม่เอ่ยชื่อตัวทูแล้วกันแต่ว่าตัวเราเองเนี่ยช่วง 3-4 ปีนี้ก็คือเราขยายนะตัวเราขยายนะคะหน้าไม่เรียวนะคะทีนี้ตอนแต่ก่อนเนี่ยเรารู้สึกว่าเราทำวิดีโอเราถ่ายภาพใช่ไหมเราใช้แอปผ่านทำให้หน้าเรียวได้แต่ว่าตอนนี้วิดีโอเนี่ยก็สามารถทำให้หน้าเรียวได้เหมือนกันเราก็สามารถที่จะสลิมได้ด้วยเหมือนกันล่าสุดก็ให้น้องได้ลองเทสกับตัวเราเนี่ยแหละนะคะก็ให้สัมภาษณ์คลิปหนึ่งออกมาเสร็จโอ้โหเป็นมิหมีตอนเมื่อประมาณ 5-6 ปีก่อนนะคะรู้สึกดีใจได้เจอตัวเองย้อนวัยอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะคะก็เป็นอะไรที่เราสามารถที่จะเอามาปรับแต่งได้ให้มันดีขึ้นได้แต่ว่าแน่นอนค่ะเราจะไม่แบบว่าเอาทั้งหมด 100% ไปฝากผีฝากไข้ไว้กับ AI อันนี้เป็นประมาณการใช้งานประมาณนี้ก่อนค่ะ
ประยุกต์กันหลายรูปแบบนะคะทั้ง text รูปภาพแล้วก็นำมาสังเคราะห์ในการใช้จะไม่ได้ใช้ตั้งแต่ขั้นแรกก็คือออริจินอลเลยนะคะทาง Promise ล่ะคะตอนนี้ Promise เนี่ยทำอะไรอยู่แล้วก็เริ่มใช้งานกับ AI ยังไงบ้างคะคุณกิติพงศ์
จริงๆต้องเล่าอย่างนี้ครับว่าในมุมของ Promise เนี่ยเราเป็น Data Company คือเราทำเรื่องของการวิเคราะห์ข้อมูลแต่พอดีเราอาจจะโตมากับการวิเคราะห์ข้อมูลที่เป็น text เพราะนั้นจริงๆงานเรามันจะแวดวงอยู่รอบๆ
we work with news and social and information online. So today, for us, what we have done when we talk about languages or anything, when we create an understanding model, we think about how to make the machine understand what it has read and can provide advice what it has found and how it can summarize for us and how it understand anything in order to work for us. Then when in general AI is just like white paper that have been trained, whatever we put in it would make decision like that. So whether AI will be good or not, it depends on the original source of like for news, if we collect the news, is it reliable? The source is biased or not? This is something that we have to review for our routine. In many industries, there would be sources that they can trust or not. Or even those who work in the field to collect the information. This is the source. That's the port of truth. How can we find such source? And we use AI to help. And so nowadays we perform the duty as utilization from the data that we have. That's the duty that we are doing. For example, like what Dr. Pradya said, we will see the forwardness of ChatGPT. For ChatGPT and the application of ChatGPT in Thai Newsroom, like Thai PBS, well, in English it can be used for a certain extent, but in Thai Newsroom, so all open source how can we adjust in Thai. Personally, I think ChatGPT, it's not only about Newsroom, but for me, I think ChatGPT can work like daily operation. Anything can make the Newsroom to work better, more convenient, and can work a lot more. In certain things, ChatGPT can summarize for it in certain piece of work. Like nowadays, it's not on the part of work that we have found about summary of news. It might be able to summarize the news. In general, when we summarize a piece of news, we might not have only one source from Thai PBS, but might be from other news agencies. So if we have a lot of sources of truth, it can help to collect the information about the same topic and find out which is the material matters of such information. If we want to monitor something like breaking news, what is important, what is not important topic. In the old days, we use human beings, right? But now, to decide whether it's important or not. But now, AI now is working as to which is important essence or core of things. And so we can describe all these. And the process that we are working every day, we would do like this. So we can use the tools, the machine to imitate us how to collect the information, mix the information together and crystallize whatever we want it to be. So it will reduce the time. So for ChatGPT today, for me, I think it is generative AI that can help us to work faster throughout the whole process. The speed can be seen easily, like when I interview for about 30 minutes. In the old days, we have to edit for many hours, but now we can do within less than 5 minutes, and it's so precise and concise. Dr. Pradya just said that it has capability, but if we want to increase the quality in the newsroom, how about the data to go into Thai newsroom? Where should it be beginning, and where should open source be coming in? This is very interesting question. Very important is that it has been taught in English. When it has to change into Thai language, it has to translate from English, then it translates into Thai. But certain part that answer in Thai directly, not in English, then how can we prepare the question? How can we prepare the information to use ChatGPT with quality? First, we have to know ourselves. What do we want? For example, if we want sales or engagement, when we talk this with ChatGPT, we may not get the right answer. But if we specify the point, now we have the number of engaging people might be decreasing, but how can we get more people in that? We change the question a little bit, then we'll get the more direct information. So we can start from ask yourself what you want and try to set out small parts of it. It's like give order to human beings. Like we have assistant, like one secretary. Secretary don't know as much as we know, right? So to help the secretary to work better, you have to explain to the secretary as to what you want. After that, the secretary would help us to get what we want. คุณหมี like media and newsroom help each other and put in information, or have open AI like in Thailand. Can it help us about get the news back? If we can do, it would be a lot better. I believe that those who are doing application layer are those who provide net service. They lack data to provide input. the heart of this is about training, giving information. So upstream, if you have a lot of data from all the sources that are correct, have been screened, so all the journalists can help. And personally, I think for those who create a platform like text company, there are very few to see such opportunity to create such a platform for media, because the chance to generate income is very small. So if we have a chance to create platform to help journalists, we would be happy to see this. There might be funding in order to help this application layer to do this, to support the journalists. I would like to add, when we talk about this, I think about one project that we are doing that is open Thai activity. That's a chat GPT in Thai, that we have to use great number of information to teach AI to talk in Thai and know as well as human being. We have information about 2 trillion words in Thai to teach AI. Is it enough? Is it enough? Not enough. 2 trillion that we pull out, it would be screen, would get out all the games and pornography information. It would be deleted, would be eliminated. We have only about 67,000 million words. This is because the sources is very important. News agency all are very important. So if we can get all this information to teach AI for Thai news, AI would know like the Thai people and help the Thai. What should be the mechanism to help this? Because nowadays we put all the information into the system. Who will be the person who input such information? How can AI and all organization can help? NECTEC use the program to suck in the information, to put in the tank of the information. But now we don't have the central tank of information that we can collect, accumulate information. So maybe news agency and producer can help create the central tank of information. Now the thing that can support us is about copyright law. So if we can get over that, we can use all the information to teach AI, then we can have ChatGPT. Kun Kitapong, you see the possibility of Newsroom to join hands to fund this project? Actually, we support what doctor said. One problem about analyzing information is that we have to use the real information. There is a trend that in the future might not be only trend, but in terms of media only. But today, all companies in all industries, many industries, they start to join hands in providing fund in order to survive. They have to cooperate. They cannot survive alone. And AI, it came into all industries. So about source of information or source of news, we have to talk about a second session that is about ethics. It's a legal and compliance and many other perspectives which must be corresponding to each other to get something to help. When we talk about analyzing information, what we want to do now, can it happen? It can happen, but many times we have found that there are problems because sometimes it's not legally to do so, or compliance to do something. It violates certain laws and certain regulations in the industry, so we cannot overcome such problems. But in order to do this, we have to overlook not only business, but we have to do according to the laws and regulations. How about will we lose exclusive because now the journalists working now, we have specific information, we cannot release it because it's our exclusive news. But if each agency help each other by such funding, can it help about exclusive? Maybe I cannot answer on behalf of the journalists, but I think everything, it's like we have to create. We have to have somebody to contribute or pay something at the same time for long term. If it can create platform and can help our country to get beneficial information for the mass or the public, it would be beneficial for us. But everything is just like egg and hen. Innovation would come, only we have to be relaxed or destroy the obstacles. Just like in other industries like finance or healthcare. For healthcare, it's quite sensitive because it's about people's life. But certain matter, if we want to create innovation, we have to reduce certain things in order to create something better. Regulation should be something later on. If we have such kind of program, can it be apply open AI in Thai language? Can it be? By NECTEC. For our project, it's open source, like open ChatGPT. You can look in website, just write open Thai GPT. In Google, you find immediately. It's a cooperation between NECTEC and AI Association. I am one of the contributors. I want to tell you that after we see this picture, we look at the group of media. I think if the media group join hands and help each other to pull data together and teach open ChatGPT, it would help as secretary to all the journalists, from journalist, editor, up to higher directors or executives. When we have this picture, from writing one article, it takes about 2 hours. You might spend only half an hour, so you can have time to do something else. And workload would be looking for sources and for information. Then AI process can help us to work better, more efficient, and more convenient. It seems like copying of information would be easier because now we share information from the source, but each might tell story differently. But when we use the central data tank through open source, will the content be the same? Like we order to write about digital wallet, will it be coming out the same, exactly the same information? Actually, I want to look at AI as assistant, as your secretary. It can produce content as the source, as the prototype, then we can adjust the content to be our work. So we have to maintain the balance between content from AI and originality or source of information that produced by human beings. If we can balance these, human beings and AI can grow together. Whether the user who are not the journalists who work, nowadays you have a chance to see all the data and get the answer from generative AI. But finally, whether you use in which process, and finally, human beings still, the person who make decision, certainly not everybody can do everything in every case. We have to educate AI to be the tool, and we have to screen the news too. I would like to add, for use case, it's quite classic in my perspective. I divide it into 2 things. Exclusivity I separate from another thing. that is regular data. So I think whatever that is in business, we should keep in business. Like in the newsroom, I want you to use as idea that all data, it has ending date. So when we talk about sharing news, we want you to share it, but we don't want it to be real time. But in terms of journalists, you have to look for new news, right? For AI, when you use information from the central tank, we don't want immediate news, but we want the more correct and precise news. So that's why I want to use exclusivity in business. So to create open source, today we provide something into the central tank. We think this set can be archived and would not impact on us, so we can use such information from 5-6 years, but for only 1 year news, we have to keep it for our use as exclusivity, so we can drive forward this matter. Another thing that's very clear, in our office we have many layers of data. Some are sensitives. We can tell our people not to share or don't upload on the system, but there might be something that we can, if we know that if we put in, it would be beneficial to many people. Like we have job board of the company that we know that how many people who apply for our job, who be programmer or what kind of position. We have a few of the position, and we will know how many people who apply for this. This will be beneficial in terms of statistics. That how many company who are interested in this, who want how many positions, but sometimes we have to delete some field, like what you said. We have to use something for exclusivity and important news. We have to set aside first, and then we can have to train AI about information that's useful for everybody and not so sensitive to destroy your own company. For ChatGPT or Google Bard that we saw here, inside it's a model that's called transformer. This transformer, when we teach it with many information, it will learn only about 3 things. First, the word that appear often, like idioms. It would learn where the idioms are and it will collect in a group, firstly. Secondly, it would learn the order of the word, how Thai word put the order, like the subject, the verb, and subject. This is the second thing that AI learn. Thirdly, it learn how to answer question. Like if you see the word when, it will try to answer in dates or year. If see who, it would look for the names of the person. So the data that we teach it is like teaching Thai language to AI. And finally, what we'll get is AI like just the student in grade 9, and it will know now for ChatGPT in Thai. What level is it? It's about Mathayom 3, about wordings. For knowledge, might be close to university student. That's quite good, right? When we go back, when it's not very good. Now it's very good. It can remember a lot. For OpenAI, they have update model every 3 months. Now it might be faster than that. In the old days, they have to update every 3 months. But for Google Bard, it updates all the time because it connected with ChatGPT. For advice for new journalists during AI era, we might not be very good in accommodating AI. How can we really use it to apply in our career? I divided into 2 roles. First, the news writer or copywriter. You have the content. You have to try to write and to make people understand easily. I think ChatGPT can help to organize the wordings and the content for you. That would be the beginning point, and then we move on to write more smooth language. We are the owner of the language. We are better than the AI. Secondly, look at the role of the editor. Editor must read a lot, and sometimes many of you might be editor in here. We understand your difficulties, so AI can read the content and summarize for you first, or catch important words, or ask about the mood of the articles. Like if you can ask about the emotion, whether it's smooth or harassing manner, so we can check, so we can do fact checking. If we doubt about the words, whether it's true or not, we can ask Googlebot or ChatGPT whether such a word is good and how we can make correction. For me, I have 3 things: mindset, skill set, and tool set. For mindset, it's like many other careers, we have to be open-minded. Personally, I think AI would be a threat, but it will be a threat if we don't know how to use it. So we have to think about it as a friend. First, we have to be open-minded to learn. For skill set, what is important is to writing prompt, know how to order it to work correctly. Like now, in the next 2 weeks, we will have a workshop about using prompt to train how to set questions in the director's board, because they have to ask the executive team in order to make it effective, in order to generate productivity. I think what the journalists, I think they have the skill in making or organizing questions. So whether you can use AI fully or not, I think you can ask rather good questions and you can get good answer. And finally, for tool sets, it is very important too, because there are new tools every day. About 2-3 weeks ago, we just had text source EPT builder that it's open for us to create knowledge on specific site. So we have to give knowledge in order to be a place to give answer to those who ask questions. We don't have to use human being to answer, so we use AI to give answer. For this tool set, we have to upgrade all the time. So it has to work in a parallel manner. Kun Kittipong, you work with data a lot in Promise. You see any risk or some kind of worry about data in ChatGPT for media to use in terms of ethics and also catch up with information? I would like to answer some questions before. I want to look at AI as a tool. Don't be afraid of it. I think after we work in this area for about many years, what I would like to tell you is that how AI can follow human beings. I personally think it cannot think like human beings, because when we do some kind of model, it can do only something that we teach it. But when we have about 10 things and it don't know how to make decisions. So one thing, don't be afraid of AI. For the question you just asked about how we have to be prepared, I want to say that for applying data or using data, I have to say that in terms of original, when we have to make decision to choose data, first thing is about ethics, because finally for all industry there will be ethics involved it's not illegal, but it's something we should do or something we should not do. In certain angle, we cannot give the right answer about ethics. If you read this news and then in terms of the journalists, you have different spectrum, you have different graphs. So if you ask or tell that this thing is correct or incorrect, or you cannot do it or cannot do it, I think in all the industry, they don't have the same. They are not on par. Most of the people nowadays, like if I ask easy question, if you use ChatGPT or if we put in the data and ask it to help, I think a lot of us, we don't know that we send the data to AI to use. In the past, when we put in some kind of certain web to check that we are not robot, we can really log in. Can you tick the image? Which one is the model? It's the bicycle, then it can help. We might be cheated to train data. In terms of ethics, is it correct? But in its term, it would know the pattern of human beings' way of thinking. So there is the thin line. Nobody make it clear. I talk in terms of my personal feeling when we talk about international firm like ethics or data, or today we talk about PDPA, PDTR. In terms of legal, they don't know either. This is the fact. It is something new that happened very fast, and we don't know use case to tell which one is a mistake or anything is wrong or right. The AI is leading the laws. The law is coming after AI. Certain things we have to do first, but when we think that it's a good practice, we keep it. But if it's bad, we need to regulate it, then we have to regulate it. But today, if we want to regulate all everything, I think we are following it. So how can we do it? Don't think we are followers, but try to find the way to use it. Dr. How about can we label that this content is generated by AI or not? Actually, it's one part of the ethic items that should be advised by European countries, that you should label it that this news is generated by AI or improved by AI. You have to state that clearly. I want to expand on this. Now in European Union and America, they have the question and ask about the generation that's coming should grow up with AI. Actually, we should teach basic skill, like we have to use ChatGPT to generate news, but we have to teach them how to write first, not to teach them how to use ChatGPT. They have to learn how to write by themselves. When they go to secondary school, then they would teach them to use ChatGPT, because after that they would have good decision whether such content from AI is good enough. At university level, they would mix all those information. They can decide which one is good and which one is not good. So you have to have good basic knowledge before you have assistant tool like ChatGPT. We have about 6 minutes left, so should be enough for questions or exchange of idea. You have any question, please ask. Please. You may have to spend some time to think. Let's go on with our conversation. How about the newsroom that faced with this question about AI? You have to train or equip the journalists in what way? Because maybe you might be out of job. Within 10 years, it should be okay. But in Europe, there has been release of journalists, and in the U.S. it's also beginning to release the head counts, and that's not good because there is ethics in using AI. That is, AI must not replace human beings. This is something that clearly stated and that we send up to the parliament. We call NAIS, and we submit to the parliament for Thailand. For Thailand, we submit to the parliament about ethics. Don't fire people when you use AI, but you might not tell directly if you fire people. And how about there are many startups that grow with the company. Are there any gimmick that can be adjust or apply in AI? The beginning of startup, there are pain points and problems that they can find solution for the problems. In the past, before I worked in Texas, there were other startups like social media monitoring tools. Have to admit that startup could grow, so they have to be able to stand on their own. So they need the fund from mobilizing or generate some revenue. So they have to try to find ways to generate income. If startup to find solution to provide solution to Newsroom, they must have something that has the weight to be business model for Newsroom. If you have a chance, what I'm thinking about, because I'm trying to help startup program and I learn about AI, but those who apply, there's no one who can help in terms of media. Anybody who can do this and can provide business model, this can help all the Newsroom. If you can get together and organize activity for startup to start business model for Newsroom, they would be able to help you, and might be model to work together between startup and journalists, right? Maybe NECTEC can provide information or start the program. Kunitipong, you see any model at all? Actually, in terms of us who analyze information, if we look at the problems, like in news business, one thing that we have to tell you is that anybody can be journalist, but whether right or wrong is another thing. But today, everybody can be influencer. Even those that I saw, many young generation who create content, like in high school or secondary school, they can create media. So this is something that's about to happen. It's not about right or wrong, but it is about to be created. There are massive data in the industry. How can we believe that is true? How can we use it? How can we apply all the information? There has been one case. We have a company in the set. There is a problem that they are the industry that work. So when they use app, they don't look at the information only in Thailand but in other countries. So what is important? If they have 24 hours, the question is that for the news agency, there are many, right, online news and many news agency. How about other countries' news agency? How many people they have to use to watch? That is, this is something involved with the company. Take only those relevant to the company. There are a lot, right? So at the same time, in terms of journalists, we have the topic and group of information that we are monitoring, like foreign information, foreign news. We may have different desks to take care of that. So we have a chance to help. For me, might not be to look for information, but we have to screen and extract the information to work further. This is something, whether we like it or not, we cannot deny about the growth of ChatGPT and that Newsroom in Thailand have to apply. Like the first time when the internet came into the picture, now we cannot deny. So we have to go back to developing of the people in the newsroom, and also to have more open sources in order to connect with new technology, in order for Newsroom in the future is well-rounded and well-equipped. Thank you all three speakers, Dr. Praya, Kun Kittipong, and Kun Arunut. Thank you so much. And thank you all three speakers. Please join in the photo session. Whether we like it or not, we have to live with AI from now on. A big round of applause to our three speakers and our moderator, please. Thank you. We talk about future newsroom in terms of mass media and also development of AI that go further in all aspects. So today we'll talk about the mass media. Just now we talk about newsroom, but the next item that we'll talk about is about AI and the future of Thai media. Would be Thai media. Last topic was newsroom, but now would be whole Thai media. That is AI and the future of Thai media. Would like to invite all speakers on the stage. Dr. Pirong Ramasud, Kun Supinya Klang Narong, Kun Supinya Klang Narong, please, co-founder from Co-Fact. Next, Assistant Professor Dr. Sakun Si Sarakam from Chulalongkorn University, Faculty of Communication Arts, and Kun Ravi Tawan Tharong from Sonpi. Next, Associate Professor Dr. Monvipa Wongruchira from Sukhothai Thammathirat University, and the moderator today would be Kun Thepchai Yong from Thai PBS. AI and the future of Thai media. Would like to give the mic to Kun Thepchai, please. Thank you very much. All eras always have problem with microphone. Today, when we look at our speakers today, we don't want to talk about only the future of the media, but maybe about journalism. Because if AI replaces the journalists, maybe sometimes it can replace the professors and instructors of the universities, right? But today, I think we have all perspective from journalists, former journalists, and also professors, and those who find fault with information or news. Dr. Mon and Ajahn Virong, you make good decision to get out from the mass media because the future is very confusing now. One question that all the forum would ask about AI and information, always the question is that will AI replace the journalists? How or what to extent? The person who can answer this must be AI. So I try to ask ChatGPT and Google Bard. Ask whether AI can replace journalists. Let's see the answer whether it's reliable or not. It said AI can help journalists to manage repetitive information, analyze information, but for analyzing or search or compassion or humanity and analytic thinking cannot be replaced by AI. So AI cannot replace all special skills of the journalists, cannot replace all skills of the journalists. It can replace quite a lot. For Bart, the answer, let's see whether it's reliable or not. For Bart and ChatGPT answer in Thai, Bart said, short answer is that it's possible. That's quite alarming, but not certain. AI might replace certain journalists, but for human being journalists, emphasize here, they remain necessary. Human journalists have to develop a skill, to catch up with technology in order to work with AI efficiently. To work with AI efficiently, it means the answer from Barth and ChatGPT is depending on how we interpret. The journalist said they won't replace us all, but when you really take it seriously, that someday, if it can develop something that we have and we don't have nowadays. This is a big question. What will happen in the future? When you hear this, Kun Lavi, what do you think? I am the first person about Bart and ChatGPT. When we talk about journalists, the one word, but when we say mass media, it's different. I used to write one word about position who will lose the job in journalism is relator. Relator is collecting and put things together to create information, but it's not in depth. They don't have to analyze anything. It's not so information based. It takes place already. If we search Google in web of news, it summarized from our web already. So maybe human being can lose job, I think, but if you adjust accordingly, you can still survive. For ChatGPT and Bart on this matter, I asked ChatGPT 5 sectors that would be impact. Is the first one is media. Education secondly. Thirdly is advertisement. Fourthly is healthcare. Fifth is finance. This is 5 topmost that ChatGPT gave the answer. I look at it in terms of journalists today because in terms of creation of content of news, it's interesting, and there are a lot of challenges, not only creating for entertainment, but we have to save the future of the society in terms of engagement and also coordinating of sections of society for the next generation. So I think in terms of news, I just talked to Kun Aranut about generative AI. It's in the period of creating, so it depends on the information we put in, like from TV The news item that I'm responsible for is something that gives me a headache. It's the news that we have to work intensely, or seasonal news or online news. It's similar. Everything is something click-based in order for people to click to get people's engagement. But if we input for now, how about in the future? What do we expect when we talk about core value of the content that will be future content of future news? Now this is period of input, right? But for correctness or accuracy or not violating the right of others is not core value of the news. This is a big matter. But human beings cannot mess with a chat box of AI because we don't know what is its decision making. We know only input, but we don't know about output. We cannot encode because the input, which are content of information of Thai society, it's filled with something that cannot create core value in the future. So the information that Kun Viralong talk about is not what the information that Ajahn Pratya want, right? That's what you talk about. Might be another type of information. What we will talk in depth and look in the future, Ajahn Vipa can help maybe, because she's the first who do the research on the use of ChatGPT in the newsroom for Thai News Agency. Actually, how much we use, this is the answer about the direction of the newsroom in the future. I have to say that this information we just collect in September, last September, so you might be disappointed because actual case say that it has been used quite a lot. I don't know whether we lost Thai PBS or not, but the research that I have conducted is about ChatGPT. Might not cover all AIs because we know that AI have been used in various types, so we don't know. We don't want the research scope to be too expensive. So we talk about ChatGPT, like her have been mentioned a lot in other countries, but we want to tell you about our findings, what we have found. Not many people use. We are quite confused. We are because they use more than really put it into use for work. We survey about 16, 17 items, might be online and printing and TV stations that we have gathered information, also editors and journalists, and also organization executive who look at the problem of the organization. What is interesting when we talk about those journalists about using ChatGPT, they use because it's something new, but it is because it is in the news. Like we used to have Halloween and see some picture and can make it as the news content. But whether it's news or not, like Ajahn Viralong said, it just at the beginning, we know, we have heard about it, we can use it, it's fun to use, but when we talk about the process of work, they don't see it, they don't know it. I don't want to disappoint you, but if we want to use with work, these factors that we have found, I want you to see here about usefulness. They think it's not useful for journalism mostly, but for those who said it's useful, also there are some about list ideas, initiate ideas, and also good for data gathering in terms of supporting data, and also data analysis. That is, ChatGPT can synthesize the data, and it can came out in terms of answer. When we compare with Google, Google would give the list, but it would provide some chronological for us. But there is another thing that is we have to rewrite before publishing. This is the factor that we talk about. That is, it can be good assistant. It helps to save time, like what many speakers talk about it, just like Google, but it can work in a short time. Will I advise people to use? Yes, I will. But what we have found is that what we are concerned about, that is, we have to check first.
ว่า
And the issue is that one thing that we are worried about is that we know that chat can give something, the answer that might not be the correct one. Like when we ask about who is Guan O, the Chinese actor, the Chinese figure, but it answers as Korean. That is Gong Yu, which is not Guan U. But if it's information that we don't know that it's not correct, then it would cause problem. What would happen when we listen to what we have found today is that it's not really widely used. What we have found is that people don't use ChatGPT. What I highlight is that the information is not reliable. Might be because it's the data in Thai. When we check all these 10 items, what we talk about, there are only one or two organizations that use English. That's why we think we are not surprised that it doesn't work.
มันไม่อัปเดต
Somebody said that the data is not updated, it's not reliable, it's not organization data, it's public data that we just collect from Google. Actually, journalists should get the data from certain thing that's more reliable, like open data that come from government sector if you want some kind of solution, but what you use is not the correct one. Secondly, what we use and we are not good at using is the ability to use, especially the setting question in prompt. It seems like you can use, but actually it's about languages, because Thai language has some kind of it's quite complex. It cannot cover all database. We have only 40,000 pieces, while data of English cover millions of set of information. Or so for ChatGPT in Thai language, it might not be reliable yet. If it's good, why don't you use it? But we have found, just like what Kun Tep Chai said, that is about job replacement. Besides rewriter, who lose the job is translator. Like we just saw that it can change from text to speech, and from speech to text, from Chinese mass media. So instead of hiring translator, we can hire only certain person to work with AI. But in a negative way, mostly we talk in terms of positive, but the distribution of information would be more expensive, and the data in all media mostly are dramatic. So in the next 5 years, AI would learn from all this information. So what we'll face with, we'll see what kind of data we'll find. This is about using information from language model by ChatGPT. And we talk about level of university student, like some professors said, how much they use, or students are careful in using, like the journalists in Newsroom I want you to see this slide before answering. I wrap up from the review from many sources. We see that the process in producing news, we use AI in where or which part. We have news gathering, production, distribution, and also business. I just want to summarize this as to where they are. This is something that in many countries have experiment, so I list it for you. There are many things, like for news gathering is about searching and then production to make the process shorter, and about storytelling for distribution. So we try to reach more people. For AI, does it work in all these areas? It depends on how we use AI with us, like the team of editors. So I show you in blue, this is still us, that is human being. So what can replace us and what cannot replace us? So I can give you hope that something cannot be replaced. What is human touch? Anything that involved with emotion, human perspective, or connection between human being and human being. We need to use human beings. For AI information or machine learning, whether it's good or not, it depends on our input, whether we have bias or not bias. It depends on the input that we put in. So I used to do research, partly working for Thai PBS, about the system to detect solution of news of Thai PBS. We have found about this kind of training. It can help us to detect, and it can also evaluate the news, but it depends on the design of the information, of the problems. And finally, it's us human beings to make decision. If we look at the guideline in 10 organizations that use AI, that is human oversight, still have to supervise or oversight the news. And we see that for production, for those repetitive work, if we want to teach the students, we have to teach them how to use AI production. When we study something, writing, AI tools have to be taught and look at the thing that AI generates. So we have to study the product of AI, and then if anything that's repetitious, let AI do it. But what we have to do is to spend our time to focus on creativity, to do something more in depth. So when we always complain, I don't have time for creativity, so you can spend such time to create something, creativity. So in teaching, we also do that too. Teach them how to use AI as well. Another thing about distribution is that we think we should have anchorman, anchor women to be replaced or not. But the target is to connect the message to the people. So if we can generate data and everything for us by AI, but personalization and communication has been worked by AI, but how can we connect with human beings? How to do personalization? So are there another aspect of it that we can fulfill? So to lay out distribution strategy have to be done by human being. Then, like what everybody tried to say, that we try to produce quality news. So certain workload can be replaced by AI. So we have workflow that's more efficient. Look at the pink. I want to show you about the strategy in Newsroom has been adapted in many news tools. There are 3 steps. The first one is just make the existing news to be more efficient. Like you used to use a lot of workforce, then AI can work for you, so you can use the workforce for other tasks. After you get the efficiency, you move forward about product expansion. We have to create new product or not, or we have to access new audience or not. And finally, for sustainability, we have to use AI to differentiate, to create new products. So these we have to teach the students in university level. We have to try to do this in classroom. But instructor can teach, but the teacher or instructor have to start from him or herself, from the past experience. If we want to understand about machine learning, we also have to work with those who work with systems. We have to call with NECTEC. We have to thank you, the researcher in NECTEC that worked with us for 2 projects about training certain information about emotion, what type of emotion the news presenter present. This is very good tool to help in research work, and also such research work can be applied about how to work with AI and their work. So when we teach them to use AI and then tell us how much you use AI and what are new values that you include in such work product. We also hope, like Professor Ravi talked, that AI can help with repetitive work, so we can work with a more fruitful work. But we are afraid that because the TV owner might want to push out some workforce, but first we have to create efficiency. We might not talk about sustainability, but to reduce expense for investment in producing news, this is the main work. This is something that we are afraid of, that it would replace journalists in order to reduce the cost, right? Actually, it happened all over the world. Like this morning, some speaker said that a certain news agency reduced the number of journalists, claiming because of the performance or work products that decrease. Now talk with the real journalists. At present, how you look at AI role? Are you afraid, or you just don't feel anything? You don't attach importance to it? From what I listen, I think I have to tell all the listeners, participants, that I'm not really a journalist fully or 100%, because we can use AI. Luckily, my noodle shop, we use AI, and we know now that people started to be worried that their work would be replaced by AI. Not only AI, but replace like what that the organization want to reduce the capital cost. So if they want to reduce the cost, they have to look something or other tools to replace not only AI or ChatGPT, but studio, like the camera or anything that they can replace technical issue. Then they would fire such people. When people lose the job, for those who lose the job, they would open Facebook, start their own online newsroom. So what you haven't adjust, you would find AI that compete with you, whether it comes or not, AI come or not. It comes not slow like iPhone 2 to iPhone 5, but it will come very fast like cyclone storm, like some Texas said, from Matrium 3 and Matrium 5. But in 3 months, it will be at the MA level, and then the journalists will have difficulties in working. This morning, I would like to add, I just saw that certain media that I would like to do, Why we don't have national library online? Why? Like library online, when we search something, we search only Google and look at which good ranking, not because of good information, because technical is good, easy to find, but something might be on the second page of Google. Why don't we have national library online? We don't have to put in the news, just get the information of like Thai history or important open data of the government to put in that library. Maybe NECTEC can help, and university instructor or influencers who are good can help cooperation to work and put such things online. When we have to use such information, we can refer to such a platform, not just Google. Nowadays, we refer to Google only. But if we can do that, AI for Thailand would be strong and very powerful. How about your friend in mass media circle? How do they use ChatGPT? No, they don't use it. Confirm they don't use ChatGPT yet. The reason is because for media circle, there's no person to teach them how to use. I try to use it. I tried for 2 years before I can really talk with it or communicate with it in Thai. In English is very easy. For Thai, there are some space which, and if you change the word, change the subject, then it can be the answer. So the information data in the stock still in limited number, so the answer is not correct. So for those who want the answer, they have to work in a timely manner, so they don't have enough time. So they don't want to lose time to look for the information more. But in the future, if there are a lot of information, it's possible to use. So AI has more than ChatGPT. There are other things that can be used, might be more alarming than ChatGPT. Kun Apinya, you are on another side of the media. You catch up, try to catch some fake news and other things. How about AI and how about checking the work of mass media? How challenging it is? Thank you. Certainly, there are more challenging things, especially AI for the consumer might be alarming, but for the media, we might look at it differently. We know that it would have impact on us very fast. AI is a part of digital transformation, and that would have impact all over the world, and a lot of people will lose jobs. And for those who will lose the job first, as a pattern like pharmacists, but we have to use discretion or imagination. They still hold on to their job. But then there will be designers, psychologists, and media. How about what category are they? In the category of psychologists or others? In certain categories, they won't lose their job, but we have to adjust ourselves. There are still time, but it comes very fast. From what we heard from one speaker, they think from 2020 to 2029, it's during evolving AI. AI might have to learn from us, not more smarter than us, but in the next decade, it would be the era of AI, and the decade after that might be AI era. Would be very challenging for human spirit. It might go beyond not only AI, but maybe about nano and genetic and DNA, which human being in the future might be able to choose their gene, DNA of their children, their babies. Everything would be focused on ethics. Ethics would be very important, but who will be the person who set up ethic standards? So this is another transformation that give a lot of headache for this period. Actually, it can be the tool, and maybe media still use only a little, but the nature of journalists' work is talking to the source. But for this AI, might be about using database. It still follow us, but the journalists have to go out and collect information. And now it's about evolving period of big data. After big data is strong, then we'll face with challenges, and AI would develop to the point where it can guess the human beings thinking. But what I want to quote here is that many of you know about Samuel, the political philosopher. Still think that what is worrisome is AI can think better than us or not. There might be some element about human beings that AI don't have, and also human interaction. From COFAC, we design chatbot in order for the senior to use Line application to check the fake news and real news. We got the model from Taiwan, and there are many chatbots in Taiwan that we can check and verify whether the news is fake or real. So Taiwan chatbot is good, but sometimes it doesn't work well because it's still difficult to use when we ask the senior citizen. So they don't want to talk to chatbot. We want to talk to human beings, but the use is still minimal. But actually, if we set live chat group, it's very lively. They would come in and talk and chat a lot. So this is something that we have to change our strategy. So we have to hire human beings to provide answer to. So that's back to basic again. This is the lesson learned during the 5 years in working at COFAC about evolving on this matter. So I would like to tell you that there is an opportunity during a crisis, but we have to see which direction it will be evolving to. Actually, because they don't pay attention or not, they are not interested whether the news is fake or real. They ask chatbot, it's answer in pattern, and then have to answer in choice, so they know that it's chatbots and they don't like it. So what I want to say is that it's tailor-made for each society. Certain may work in Taiwan, but might not work in Thailand or in South Korea. For Thailand, it doesn't really work well. So we need a lot of human touch in Thailand. Also, we have to look at the age range. For Line is application that's very successful in Thailand. The senior citizen use Line at what percentage? They don't use Google. But when we talk about impact of AI in Thailand, we have to compare with other applications, also culture. Eventually, it might be transformed, but now we are in the period of aging society. We have to share all the news about healthcare, everything. It's a classic item like lemon and soda can help cure cancer. Actually, they share, even though sometimes they don't believe. But it's fun. It's fun to share because they are worried about their friend, or they send. What we found by COFAC is that the senior citizen, they sometimes they forward because they feel they don't want to bother. So they have to, if somebody asks you to further, then you have to further, because the sender sometimes thank you to such a person who further the news, then they'll get a sticker and they would be happy to further or resend to others. This is the culture that's very challenging for COFAC. When we want them to use our bot, doesn't mean that this generation would pose a problem and not good, but it may be something that slow the transforming process. We have to maintain the role to be sources for the mass media. They have to depend on the source. So how can they use AI as source that can be reliable? Like Kun Suchichai said, or Kun Lavi said, if we want to reduce costs or reduce editor or those good experienced person and hire those marketing personnel and lay off some journalists, then you cannot move forward. It's not different from WPC. Actually, the problem is not ChatGPT, but it's social media from the beginning, like TikTok or other platform. If the media cannot do content generator like in TikTok or other media, so it won't cause any difference. So we have to have the good source, but you have to invest. This is something we have to try to solve the problem. Have to go back to Professor. Or I just want to add just a little bit. I am working on pilot project. It's co-pilot on drone media. What you talked just now about fact that company want to get rid of, I won't take the small person who are working on information-based content. What we are doing for new news agency, we want to generate information, and the editor would be the pilot in making correction, whether it's yes or no. They have to analyze before we release the news, and we will provide only for certain group of users, like energy, solar energy group. Not actually, it depends on who will go along with us. It's the same picture that I look in the future. If there will be any new media agency, it must use AI at the beginning, right? Just now, Kun Subanya talked about ethics for AI, especially for language model. This is not new in other countries. They discuss for many years already. For Thailand, like Kun Wilonglong said, this year or not long ago that it happened. So it's good opportunity to set certain guidelines that can stay with us, working together, and would not be dangerous to the society. Ajahn Wilonglong, that you take care of regulation regarding mass media. What is your thought for people or the mass media to talk about this seriously and set out the guideline before it's out of control? We have to admit that Thailand is the user country, not the designer. Actually, all technology has been designed already. We are user only, but it doesn't mean that we cannot control. Let's go quickly, please. Let's look at this. This came from a report, The State of AI, produced by McKinsey this year. This is the year of breakout of AI. They survey in many organizations in the U.S. And look at what is the risk and how can we mitigate the risk. We talk about accuracy of the information in academia or media circle. This is important. Next is about cybersecurity, about intellectual property infringement. This is about tech. This is something to avoid regulations or regulatory compliance. What we have found that is bigger than what we are talking now in terms of designing of system or designing of algorithm before it come to Thailand. It has the function that we cannot resist because it has been designed already. And one thing that we have found, and people talk a lot in terms of technology, philosophy, that is AI is like evolution of the human beings, just like need to have survival aspect. So AI has been developed and chosen. Mostly it's AI that can avoid human control because they have tested already which one that can avoid human control or which one that is the most unethical, and they create highest economic value. They avoid control and can generate economic value, like social media that use and focus on people to use often. This is effective algorithm. Is it good? Not so good. But why it has been chosen and developed further? Because it generates economic value. This is the user country like us. It's difficult because you cannot change anything. Suppose we focus on AI to be transparent, but the owner country of technology could not create transparency because they claim that if there is transparency, then there would be problem regarding security of the system, also accountability of the algorithm that has been mentioned a lot on governance forum since 2009. Up to now, we still could not create transparency of algorithm. So these are black box. How about Thai media? We have two level of challenges. How can the media adjust themselves? This is the problem that the media can create awareness and cut across all social media. Have to create understanding among the Thai to know what is opportunity, what is impact, how can we live with it. So the task mission of the media is quite challenging, like what we talk about distribution of information. But in other countries that have used generative AI in media extensively, there's one thing about data and we might talk about the journalists that can choose only the issue about data definable. Anything with information that you can gather and integrate and summarize to be in a systematic manner, then there would be something in a gray area. Doesn't mean bad, but in the area that in a data definable area, it can be based and can be in a group that can generate meaning, maybe about certain groups that they don't have the cost in the system. If you don't have content that is data definable, nobody would take care of it. If the journalists are interested in to get AI to screen, those who are not in data definability, they would be left out. This is the issue that we have to take care in the future, like Kun Tepchai asks as to what we will do. So we have to discuss about this. What would be the risk? We have to foresight about risk of AI. I would like to end with this. This is, I would like to leave with Thai PBS. The important issue about AI, the basic status or ability of AI. Even the journalists sometimes they don't know how to use ChatGPT, but as public media, you have to know the ability of AI, how it can work, who would play the major role, who regulate AI now. That is, big tech, main user would regulate AI. Also, for Thailand, when we talk about regulation, about ethics, we copy from other countries. What did we copy? Like PDPA, we copy PDPR on certain part, but when we really use it, we don't understand the human value. Actually, it's about privacy. It's about human dignity. But for PDA, it's about security more. Security and privacy is different thing. Privacy is about individual human dignity. We don't see that issue and don't feel. So this is what we copy. We copy from OECD and ONDE. We copy them all. Do we know the core value that should be protected when AI is distributed? Why we have to protect it? Why we have to take care of it? This is the duty of public media like Thai PBS and about NECTEC, or what we have to do. We need to have basic structure to take care of it, to also inclusive AI. It's something, it should not be AI of white collar only in the city who are main users, but should belong to everyone. So participation is not only connectivity, but should be participation to create core value. So how should we open this kind of vision? For regulation, we are not NECTEC or EDA, or so we might be involved with efficiency. This is the beginning point. Like for the first 3 years of children's life, here is about the first year and the second year only. ท่านวิภา the important issue that we talk a lot when we talk about AI, especially in foreign media, it's about transparency and accountability, about the source of articles and news, whether it comes from AI or not, and how many percentage. Like in Thailand, it's at the beginning, but I think in 4 or 5 years, it's possible that 80% of news might be produced by AI. Then during the time, how can we trust that such news can be reliable according to journalist standards? We are worried as the professor or instructor. We wonder whether the work submitted by university student, whether it's made by AI or not. But from the research, when we talk about organization executive, they agree with the use of AI to help the journalists who work. That is, you have to read and rewrite and double check. Whether you use ChatGPT or AI, you have to check. It's not the writer. AI can be the assistant. Maybe I can add what Ajahn Virorong said. So don't just rely on the government's supervision. Now it's the beginning of this, especially the media group. We should talk about guidelines for using AI. We should discuss about this as to what extent we should use, whether we should tell the people or not, whether we that is AI generated or not. because we'll see the article at the end that they use AI generative or not, or I wrote it myself, right? We have to talk about this because for all instructors in university like AP or ATA, they start to have guidelines to use ChatGPT for written work. So there should be ways to refer or as references. So what should be the guidelines? So we have to go back to professional association or council. What you are about to do, if it really happened, you have to label it as produced by AI or not. I can answer Ajahn Ubon too. Today I can ask all the TV owner and you have IT section, right? The word IAI and IT, it seems like it's different section. For IT is a different section, but develop digital technology it should belong to another section that can go to AI. For the media, do you have such section to be responsible for that? I think 90% they don't have this section. So for AI to be used by journalists, then they would say IT should prepare for us. The programmers are working on this nowadays. Let's go back to the question Kun Thepchai asked. In the past, I worked as employee up until now. Now I have to invest in certain media. That is, to be employee all the time, I know that. To work as mass media member, we don't get the money. We don't get the money from advertisement. The advertisement income decreased greatly. When I left work, a lot of people consult with me. If you open news agency, you would collapse. You would, because algorithm would pressure you, and you get only the leftover of income. If I want to do, I just made decision not long ago. If we want to invest in journalists, we would invest on editor first, right? But for me, I would invest in tech company, especially the Jula students, which is startup very good at machine learning or AI. So I use that as a airplane, and then I just hire the editor. The editor can check everything and can produce specific news like energy or power. We have the market waiting for us, right? So it's we want subscription only. We don't want advertisement income, because I will buy copyright from Europe like wind power, and then I get the data and I pay it. If you want to read my information, you don't read news report. I don't do news report. I do information. If you want to read, you have to subscribe. We just talk about practice or supervision of AI usage. The professional has certain duty, right? We have to discuss whether we are on the same curve and the status of Thailand at present. Thai PBS is the first host to organize this topic, where we have to ask whether media online are aware of AI. It seems like it's far from them, right? In fact, like what I said, it comes very fast, very fast. This is very true. I'm afraid too that if we ask in February, the result might be different, right? At present, I am advisor to modernists for the journalist age about 25 to 30-some. It's something that what we are talking today. The sources of those journalists are different sources. They can be editor on my behalf. They are global citizens. They can look for information from abroad. They don't look for information in Thailand or newspaper at all. Global citizen, this is a word. And for new generation, they can learn about AI faster than us. Ajahn Sangwansi, in terms of academia, about the new tool, do you think AI have a chance to create new generation of journalists? You see this kind of tools, they can have access to people with more hope, with lower cost. Can you elaborate on that? There are a lot of chance. Let's look at the slide. One example of what I'm doing. There is one news agency working for a long time with me. That's Radar, because of there are only 5 journalists working with AI. That is, AI generate data, the information for them. 5 journalists use the same thing, write in different version, and they can write a script. They can create about 10 content and sell to news agencies, so it can help in certain work, so we don't need to write. So this is specialized of the journalists. We cannot teach journalists to do certain things only, but about context, content, and specific information are very necessary to be included and also mixed with other expertise. So we have AI to help. We don't need to have many journalists, but we can have perspective that are different, just like jigsaw to put together. Also, we can generate income because we have target audience of certain group. If we can direct to them when we want to add sponsorship, you see clear target. Like Channel 6 in the UK, they have target audience increasing every year because they have to generate income. So also we have to respond to the youth group because this kind of targeting is very clear according to the information generated by AI. You have to choose, the news agency have to invest. So the news agency can invest, but maybe not, they cannot support, they cannot have enough. So we need to have certain fund, and the news agency can cooperate with university. This is certain model that we should have, like media lab, like Tula, we have such media lab. I'm not selling things, but the latest project that we have done by AP is AP Local News. They have used local news or local journalists to train, and then they cooperate with university in the locality and develop AI according to their wish. Like you want to develop something in the local area, then they can produce. Like now they have 5 groups already that have already been produced that you can take a look. One barrier in Thailand is the language. It's a big barrier, but there is certain AI tools that you don't depend on language 100%. You have to choose certain organization. Don't need to develop everything because there are many things like you see in the yellow boxes. Have to choose something to increase your efficiency only. I would like to add from what you all said as to what else that cannot be replaced. Like we have guidelines in many places, like news agency, like the images cannot replace generative AI, fact cannot be generated, and news image needs the thought of the cameraman or cutting or editing video. It can do only certain part, but the skill of the editor is to produce the images that can be something that you want to communicate with the listener, which AI cannot do. AI cannot do now. What we train it, but if we use certain things like application of Coco, when we take the picture, it can edit for us and think it's something we like it, but actually it might not be the right one that we want. But it can help to save time, can work faster. The problem is that, like what Kun Tepchai said, if the media don't want to invest, then you don't know how to make use of it. So if you cannot invest, why don't you work with university and tech company? There might be something that you can do. In the future, it will be with us more and more. Because nowadays we use all these tools, depending on whether you use a lot or not. You know how to use it. And you are the boss of this technology or technique. You can just try and have to learn how to control, how to design and make use of it. Actually, all the challenges from AI tools, it would be a challenge that the professional and also academia should cooperate in helping to handle it, to look into the future about Thai media. Cooperation is okay, but there need to be power to push forward. Are there any other organization can help with this? We think of NECTEC as the wallet. Actually, in terms of promotion of personnel, which are those in TV or telecommunication, it's the mission of NBTC to promote the personnel among academia and professional organization. There should be a forum that we talk more about this in terms of professional and also media organization. And media organization can talk at two levels, the owner and executives. Like NBTC, we have the work and provide the fund through CAT. We had training fund to support the training of using technology like generative AI, and before the training of a media organization, we would survey whether they have been trained in this before. The answer almost zero. Usually when it is organized, they don't attend. But the data that we have found is that they had never been trained. But those who have been trained, it's personal interest. The online association provides such training often, but the journalists did not attend, or the editor did not allow them to attend. For media organization, the owner and executive and professional and operator, university also must be similar. In terms of journalism, Ajahn in here can help, especially NBTC also can help. Don't look at them as the money wallet, but as those who have to develop personnel. So should sit down and discuss and identify what are the risks and foresight. For the fund that we have is the mission according to the board policy. This is the part that we can support, but it must be clear if you want to have such kind of project. What is the target? What is the objective? It must not be only 1 year project, but must be continuous. Kun Prinya Chen, please. I want to just add, when we talk about NBTC, and we transfer the mission to that office, when we talk about AI, it is getting more difficult, especially when we start. It's the time when internet just start to come out, and it gives hope to the new generation. But after a while, then it's about law to come out to control. Even the human rights organization, they have to take into consideration. But for each issue that we need the law to control, and also where is the line of the rule of law that should play the part. For the past year, from the mission of NBTC, even about fake news, we are trying to apply certain laws, but we also have to talk about ethics and accountability. But later on, what are difficult to take care of, like deep fake or call center gang, this is something that we are worried. It is something that's alarming, especially AI. We are worried as well. We are worried about media too. We are afraid that they will lose job, but we are not worried about the owner of the media organization, but we are worried about consumer. Like if somebody call you and then all the money have been withdrawn, so this is some kind of threat. You can lose all your savings, and law enforcement is following them, not leading them. So with this problem go to cybercrime already, so how can we catch up with it? Why we would like to propose for NBTC and the government, they don't have to be regulator, but should be facilitator to get all stakeholders to come together and discuss and create leverage, especially those tech platform, what it should include, what kind of ethics perspective, whether it will impact our consumer or not, and especially for foreign media. We cannot just exercise your power. If you don't do this, you will be put in jail. This is the old way. But nowadays, we just want the member of the government who understand how to be facilitator for those media organizations and see which direction they should go. And the media organization, also the owner, should think about how much they can invest. If they talk about using AI or ChatGPT, what it would be used for, just to see the criminal picture or images, is it useful? If we use technology or AI, how about the content? If you want to describe the criminal scene, that will go back to the discretion of the team of the editor. That is, when we ask the journalists, they said they could access all the information, but they want the editor who can guide them to choose which information they should choose. So even we have information generated by AI, but if such a news agency don't use AI 100%, so the editors' guidelines still very necessary and useful for journalists. So it might take 10, 20 years, and that might be something that the consumer should take into account. I work in this area. What we, all the executive, realize is that we have to help ourselves, have to rely on ourselves. Especially illiteracy is not enough. We have to be digital intelligent. We have to use it smartly, have to control technology, and because sometimes it's more advanced. So the society need to campaign, like NGO or CSO, government sector, have to support such campaign. And the private sector also, consumer have to be a fact tracker, have to look for information yourself too. This is something that everybody have to cooperate in working. Thank you. So it's not so actually. Besides using modern technology, there must be cooperation among the people in the society. Any question? We have few minutes. Please. มีคำถาม
โอเคถ้าไม่มีก็คำถามสุดท้ายเร็วๆทุกคน
None short question. In 5 years, what is the look of the media in the next 5 years? What the media should be like in the next 5 years? Next 5 years, what should be the face of the newsroom? What should be the prospect of the newsroom? Nowadays, I have amount of money, and I bought a tech company. I used to organize a newsroom of 50 or 100 journalists, but now there will be only 5 journalists, and I will use technology that from the company that I bought as the owner and investor. It would be faster, and the information could be tracked better. So there will be younger generation. Instead of having young generation reporter to run around, in the future, we never suspect that we have a lot of Thai language media, but we have only 2 international media to talk with people around the world. Only 2 Thai PBS World, 3 of them, and Bangkok Post and Nation. So it's quite dangerous for us in the future. So in the next 5 years, technology need to be applied a lot for the newsroom to reduce the cost. Border of the language need to be understood more, and finally, information must be informative, not only good to know. It must know, not only reporter, but must be informative content more and more. So you work with principle and ethics. Must be ethic-based information. In many universities in provincial area, ethics is something very small in university in provincial area, but actually it's very big topic. In the classroom is something that's quite worrisome, because we cannot teach all the technology. When we teach today, tomorrow the technology change. Some topic that we teach this year, next year might change already. So about technology, the children or the student know about technology better. But what we talk about in the classroom is about how to think about media organization. At present, they would invest with marketing technology more. They can invest in anything that can generate income. Others talk about generating view, but there is no investment in data in order to use generative data to create value information. We have to understand those business people. They don't see the figure like investment in business, like if you have invest online news, you can see by the number of the viewers. Look at two sides. If we don't do anything, don't invest anything, just stay on like this, then you prepare for the end of your career. But now we have to think about the hope, if we still have hope to go further, because we have the tools, but there is the tool to lead us into 4 years. We cannot do alone. It's something that we have to do with partners. So don't invest alone, don't take risks alone, work together with others. Like if you have journalists, they don't need to be from only one professional. One thing that for Thai media cannot see the direction to go further because we don't have information on audience. In other countries, they can adjust whatever technology they can start. They start from audience research. But we at the end of the line, we have to tell ourselves that you can say that audience like this, but we don't know. They see because it's the play or because they want information. If you want to do research, work with the research company. If you have database clearly, then it can tell us that which direction we can go. For last section, specify that we should have open AI data. When I work in the same organization, we track the same information but from different source in the same organization. It's quite difficult. So we have to agree about the word or the track words that are the same, so that can reduce our worries about disperse information. We don't have database, then we don't see that others are doing the same thing. So we want investment from this country. We want this country to see media literacy as something very important, not only get information to answer, but it is the tools and the mechanism to develop the country. So please invest with media so we can go further. Other countries, they can adjust because they have certain fund to work further by investing in media. We have to create ecosystem, not just disperse the budget into something and don't have business model, but you should have business model and generate income and come back. So we don't go to the left and die, but we'll go to the right and go on. That is the social services.
ห้องข่าวอีก5 ปีข้างหน้า
The future of news in the next 5 years, I think what we will face, I am worried about 2 generations, what we talk about, because we work with 2 groups, those young generation and the senior citizen who receive different type of information. They cannot set out the agenda to help each group. It's quite difficult. So COFAC have to take a look at certain group as to what technology we use. What I would like to leave with you is how to create immunity for all groups from being cheated or fake news or machine learning or technology can help. But finally, human discretion must be applied. Like fertilizer that Thai herbal can kill COVID-19 or not. The answer is right or not right, because there are many other details involved. So we have to use human skill, but the right place is that we want the government or government policy with the vision to have people-centric policy. Whether we have blockchain or AI or anything to drive its conflict different. There are hidden agenda for those who want to sell things like hardware, software. So the issue is that we should not follow only economic driven, because it's not only technology orientation. We have to have a society as a center, so then we can see the forum about adaptation in empowering people who should be the major player from the government sector or the private sector or other groups, not only for certain group, like what we talk about. Finally, algorithm or data, how can it not be biased? Because mostly it's integrated from the thought of human beings. So there must be application of conspiracy theory. And if the data has been collected with biased perspective, and so we still need human input. So if we have the private sector with in capital to invest in AI, who would be the main actor to play in this area? Ajahn Virongrong, I just want to talk about what Kun Ke also talked about. In 5 years, if we don't have policy framework and regulators in terms of law and other sector, we cannot develop AI without regulation. Then there would create inequality in all dimensions, economic, social, and also at regional or world level. About geopolitics, any country that use AI in a more productive, they would prosper more. So we have to go back to identify about the risks and the problems, how can we assess or evaluate, and finally have to accommodate by create capacity building. That is, since I can use this word, developing country, and amid a crisis, how can we accommodate the advent of AI? I don't have to summarize because all speakers said clearly about important problem from this morning. It is the future that all sectors of the society have to face together. It's not about the media or the work of the government or the consumer alone. This is very big problem. And Thai PBS organize this forum is just only the beginning. We have to continue our conversation in order to raise awareness of the society, in order to move forward and face the problem together. Thank you, all the speakers. A big round of applause to the moderator and all speakers. Before going down, please come forward and join in the photo session. This is all the academy from university and media personnel. You see that not only the media circle, but academy, like universities, they said the report or students' work product are made by AI or not, and how, to what extent of the AI that produce report or work product of the students. You can be journalist, but to work online as journalist is difficult. A big round of applause to the moderator and speakers. On this occasion, I would like my co-MC on stage. Kun Net, just now Kun Thepchai asked about 5 years, what would be the future of Thai media from all speakers. Dr. Chai Wuttivivat Chai, NECTEC director, said in 2018, he said that in 5 years, Thailand would apply AI in all the process of newsroom, from gathering information and distribution, production. So today is something that we are talking, that is about AI and the future of newsroom.
We were asking about what will happen in 5 years' time. So Kun Kitipat just mentioned that 5 years ago, the director of NECTEC at the time mentioned that AI will play a huge role in newsrooms. And 5 years have passed. Right now is 2023. We have seen plenty of examples of how artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, OpenAI has played a huge role in journalism. So we can see that it has disrupted journalism in a way, but that doesn't mean that we will all lose our jobs. We have to treat them as a smart assistant.
เมื่อสักครู่นี้ก็มีอาจารย์บอกว่าไทย PBS เนี่ยเป็นสื่อแรกๆที่นำเรื่องนี้มาคุยเป็นงานเสวนาแบบนี้ก็ภูมิใจเนาะ เราก็เชื่อนะครับว่าต่อไปเนี่ยจะมีสื่อ
We are proud that there will be a lot of media to talk on this topic as very important agenda.
Media to talk about AI and the future of newsrooms, and hopefully we will hear more and more media organizations discussing the importance of incorporating AI and journalism in the near future. And thank you, and that marks the end of Thai PBS World Forum, AI and the Future of Newsrooms. We hope you have enjoyed listening to our insightful talks throughout the day, as well as meeting new people from this event as well.
ครับวันนี้ครับก็ต้องขอบคุณนะครับทั้งแขกรับเชิญทุกท่านนะครับแล้วก็วิทยากรนะครับผู้ดำเนินรายการของเราในวันนี้ทุกคนนะครับทีมภาพทีมเสียงทีมเทคนิคแล้วก็นักแปลที่อยู่ในตู้
So all the teams for this forum have worked hard for this conference. So thank you all of them. We as representatives of Thai PBS would like to say goodbye.
To all of the speakers, moderators, camera crew, interpreters, technicians, and everyone else who's behind this event for making this forum such a successful event. And we would also like to thank you everyone who's joining us on site and online as well. And we have to say that this has been a very successful event so far. So have a great evening, and hopefully we'll see you again next year. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ